All right, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into a topic that has the potential to completely change how the insurance industry works. And we're talking about, of course, Dynamic Data Exchange, or DDE. And the big stage for this, the unveiling, is going to be London Insurance Week in July 2025.
That's right. If you work in insurance at all, you're probably familiar with some of the frustrations of how data is handled. It's often siloed, it's exchanged through these static documents, which creates a lot of manual work. Things like slow deals, unexpected costs that just seem to pop up, or even just a feeling that innovation is kind of stalled. Those are all problems that DDE is designed to solve.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like trying to do some kind of complex operation using, like, I don't know, disconnected spreadsheets and endless email chains, right?
Yeah.
So today, what we really want to do is cut through all that and really understand how dynamic data exchange could be the key to having a much more efficient, much smoother insurance ecosystem. It's almost like a shortcut to a better way of working.
Exactly. And London Insurance Week 2025, it's running from July 14th to the 18th, is really set to be the main stage for this whole evolution. It's where the industry is really going to get a look at how DDE is moving from, a promising concept into something that's actually practical, something that's real. Think of LAW as the launch pad, the global launch pad, and the main place where this new approach is going to be championed.
So to really understand the shift we're talking about here, maybe we should try and paint a picture for our listeners.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine you're trying to share a video with somebody, but this is back in the day. You'd probably have to mail them a VHS tape, right?
Right.
And then days later they finally get to watch this static recording. Now compare that to live streaming, right? Live streaming an event.
Yeah.
That's the core difference between how a lot of insurance data is moving now through these static files, things like PDFs and spreadsheets, that require somebody to handle them at every single step of the way, and the potential of DDE, which is more like that live, that continuous feed of information. So let's get a little bit deeper here. What exactly is dynamic data exchange, in concrete terms?
Well, essentially, it's a move away from, you're just sending these files back and forth periodically to actually having these always-on, standardized digital connections. So data can flow between systems and between different parties in real time.
Okay, so it's not just about speeding up the old way of doing things. It's really like a completely different architecture, right?
Yeah.
So what are the underlying technologies that make this kind of dynamic exchange even possible?
Well, there's a few key technologies. APIs, application programming interfaces, are really crucial. These are like digital messengers. They let different software systems talk to each other directly without humans having to get involved. Then you have standardized data formats. In insurance, ACORD standards, those are a good example. These make sure that when data is shared, everybody understands it in the same way. It's like using the same language. And then finally, you need really strong, secure data sharing protocols. These ensure that the right information is going to the right people, the people who are authorized to see it, and that it's protected along the way.
So if those are like the engine, the technologies, what kind of tangible benefits can we expect in the insurance industry from this move to dynamic data exchange?
Oh, there's a lot of potential benefits. First off, real-time updates, right? That means the information is not outdated the second it gets to you. If somebody's risk profile changes, that update can be reflected in all the systems that are connected almost instantly. And then second, you have machine-to-machine communication. So that's going to automate a lot of those routine data transfers that are currently being done manually. No more endless copying and pasting between systems.
Right, it just all happens automatically.
Yeah, exactly. And then standardized data flows, that's going to make sure that the data that you get is consistent and it's ready to be used right away. So you're not spending time and energy cleaning it and reformatting it all the time. And then finally, and this is a big one, security. Security is paramount, right? So these DDE frameworks, they're designed with permissioned access, so data is only shared securely, and only with people who are authorized to see it, which is obviously critical in a regulated industry like insurance.
Right, absolutely. So now we've talked about the kind of the nuts and bolts of DDE.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that the lack of this dynamic flow creates bottlenecks in the current system. Can you give us some specific examples of where you see these inefficiencies actually causing problems right now?
Yeah, sure. The impact is really felt across the entire insurance process. Think about how long it takes to get a quote and then finalize a policy. It can be days or even weeks. A big part of that is just the back and forth of information, often in these static documents we're talking about. And then underwriting decisions, which are super important for assessing risk, are often based on data that might already be outdated by the time it's analyzed.
Right, because it takes so long to get it.
Exactly. Claims processing, that can be really slow because the information you need to validate and pay the claims isn't readily accessible or easily verified. Think about how frustrating that is for the policyholder.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like every stage has these manual checks and reconciliations because you've got all these different systems that aren't talking to each other. And the inefficiencies, they go even further than that. Reinsurance placements and all the reporting that goes along with that, those are often really manual processes, lots of administrative overhead. And then trying to get a clear, up-to-date view of risk exposure across an entire portfolio, that's incredibly difficult when the data is all fragmented and static. Just the amount of work that goes into managing the data, collecting it, cleaning it, transferring it between systems, it's a huge drain on resources. Just imagine how many hours are spent on tasks that could be automated.
Right, it's a lot of wasted time and effort.
Yeah.
So if DDE is the solution to so many of these problems, why is London Insurance Week 2025 so important for it?
Well, LAW has this really unique and powerful combination of factors. First, it's an opportunity to really get people excited about this vision of an interconnected insurance ecosystem and to get that message out to a global audience. You have all these important decision makers from all different parts of the industry all in one place, insurers, reinsurers, brokers, tech providers, regulators. It's the perfect platform to really explain why moving away from static files isn't just a small improvement, it's a crucial strategic move for the entire industry. It's about changing how people think about the future, towards a more collaborative and data-driven future.
It's about getting everyone on board and showing them how everyone benefits.
Exactly. And second, the LIW Expo is going to be really important for showcasing what interoperability actually looks like in practice. So instead of just having these theoretical discussions about APIs and data standards, attendees will be able to see live demonstrations. Imagine a broker using their system to send client data through an API to a bunch of different carriers and then getting back comparable quotes almost instantly. Or imagine these dashboards that are constantly updating reinsurance portfolio exposures based on live data feeds. When people see these practical applications working in real time, it can be really persuasive.
That seeing is believing aspect is really important for something this big, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And the third thing is that for DDE to be widely adopted, everyone needs to agree on and stick to common standards. LAW is a perfect place for that to happen because it brings together all the standards bodies like ACORD with the major players in the industry. It's a great environment for having the discussions and negotiations and agreements that are needed to figure out the protocols and data formats that everyone's going to use.
So it's about setting the rules of the road, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And the fourth thing, and this is important, is that DD isn't something that one company can just do on their own. It requires everyone to work together. Core system providers, the InsurTech companies that are developing these connectivity layers, the data enrichment services, and of course the insurance companies themselves. LIW is like a marketplace for these partnerships to form.
So it's not just about the technology, it's about the relationships.
Exactly. And then finally, education is a big part of it. A lot of people in the insurance industry, underwriters, actuaries, claims handlers, compliance officers, they need to understand how DDE works and why it's important. LAW has all these conference tracks and workshops that can help explain these concepts and show people how they can benefit from it.
It sounds like LIW 2025 is more than just an event. It's a launch pad for this big shift in how insurance works. So once this dynamic data flow becomes more common, how will it change how people in the insurance world work together?
Well, it's going to make collaboration a lot smoother because it gets rid of all that friction and wasted effort that comes with the manual processes we have now. For example, brokers and carriers, they can stop spending so much time on administrative tasks and focus more on advising their clients and finding the right solutions for them.
Okay.
Insurers and reinsurers will have a much clearer view of their risk exposures so they can make better decisions, allocate capital more effectively, and manage risk better overall. Claims processing, that could become a lot faster and more accurate because the information will be readily available and easy to verify, and a lot of those workflows could be automated.
It sounds like it frees people up to do more high-level work.
Exactly. And what might be even more transformative is how DDE makes it easier to bring in new and innovative players and data sources into the insurance ecosystem. Imagine being able to easily connect with companies that provide Internet of Things, IoT, data for real-time risk monitoring, or logistics platforms that provide up-to-the-minute data for cargo insurance. This opens up the possibility of creating really innovative insurance products and services that are really difficult or even impossible to offer right now because of the limitations of how we exchange data. Like, we might see ultra-personalized insurance products based on real-time data from wearable devices or dynamic pricing models that change based on immediate risk assessments.
That's where things could get really interesting. We could see entirely new types of insurance products that we can't even imagine yet. Of course, putting something this big into place across such a large industry is going to be challenging, right?
Oh, absolutely. There are definitely challenges. It's going to require a lot of investment in updating old systems and building new infrastructure that can support real-time data flows. And getting everyone in the industry to agree on and follow the same data standards and protocols, that's essential, but it's not going to be easy. And of course, data security and privacy, those are huge concerns, and there's going to have to be really strong security solutions in place. But maybe the biggest challenge of all is just overcoming inertia, that natural resistance to change. The insurance industry has been doing things a certain way for a long time.
And those are exactly the kinds of challenges that need to be addressed at an event like LIW 2025.
Exactly. Those discussions, the debates, the collaborative problem-solving sessions, those are all really important for moving DDE forward from a concept to something that's actually implemented. The bottom line is that the way we exchange data now with these static files, it's just not sustainable anymore. The world is changing, everything is digital, and the insurance industry needs to keep up. The industry has known about these data challenges for a long time, and dynamic data exchange, especially with it being featured so prominently at London Insurance Week 2025, has the potential to be a real turning point. It's not just another tech trend, it's the key to a faster, smarter, more interconnected, and much more effective future for the entire insurance industry. Imagine data flowing as freely and securely as information on the internet. That's the potential of DDE.
Okay, so to wrap this up, our deep dive today has been all about dynamic data exchange, which is going to be front and center at London Insurance Week in July 2025. It's about moving away from these clunky static files and towards a world of real-time data streams in the insurance industry. The promise is that it will fix a lot of the inefficiencies that I'm sure a lot of you listening have experienced firsthand. Processes that take days could be done in minutes, underwriting could be based on the most up-to-date information, and claims could be resolved much faster.
And these benefits will impact everyone, no matter what your role is or how much you know about technology. We're not just talking about small improvements, we're talking about the possibility of faster, more efficient operations, better insights that lead to better decisions, and a whole new world of innovation that we can barely imagine yet.
It really does feel like a huge shift is about to happen. It makes you wonder, if we can actually make this happen, if we can have this seamless and secure flow of data across the entire insurance industry, what kind of amazing new insurance products and services could we create? What kind of business models could emerge? Things that we can't even think of right now because we're so limited by how we exchange information. It's something to think about for sure. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.